And welcome back to the Flickering Torch podcast. This is Mr. Dead Scott.
And Smite this.
And, we want to thank you guys for coming back. We now have 5 subscribers.
Whoop, whoop.
We're moving up finally. It's there.
Moving on up.
Oh, yes. And then the other funny thing, too, or crack at our expenses, we're actually getting our shit together. And this is like, what, the 3rd podcast in 2 weeks?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's scary. I'm scared, too, folks.
Yeah.
So, as you can see from the title, we're going to talk about something that will make all you little villagers grab your pitchforks, torches, rotten fruit, things like that. So I brought a poncho this time.
Yeah. But it may also call out the people in their hidey holes who are afraid to express that opinion, or may not realize that's the symptoms they may be experiencing.
I'm still expecting us to get, put on pillars and lit on fire and called witches. Yeah,
it's the internet.
Okay.
So,
yeah. So pause for dramatic effect, Morty. Da-da-da-da. There's too many video games out there.
Way too many.
Yep, that's it. I said it. I did it. There goes half the fan base.
Not in the sense that people are creating too many. It's just there's too many for one individual to play and experience. So it's
which
it's it's a good and bad. And with the easeability and access of games these days, it's way too easy, but in a sense it's a good thing to get games, but then it's bad because then you accumulate too many.
Oh god, the backlog of shame.
Yeah, and then if you have something like Steam, when it compares to physical, okay, you have to pay $60 per game for a physical.
No, for AAA.
Yeah, for a AAA. And then you have a limited amount of physical space you can store them. Whereas
nope, I have the cloud.
Yeah. But yeah, now then you got Steam, and it's if your hard drive can fit it, you're good. You could have 1,000, however many you want.
Oh god, I don't even want to look at what my Steam
4 petabytes of Steam games.
Yeah.
God.
Or how long it'll take me to actually beat all my Steam games.
That's the thing. Is I just started hiding them.
Yeah, me too.
Just so mentally I can find ones that I'm actually gonna play. Because you do the Humble Bundle, and you're okay, you get 12 games. Awesome. I'm gonna play
2 of them.
2 of them.
Yeah.
That's the only reason I bought them. So yeah.
So let's so this cast, it's basically going to be more of our opinions on this one. We're not going to break anything down. We are drinking as per our bylaws, and we're just going to kind of dive into a couple different bullet points I thought of, and then go from there. So we'll talk about history of development of gaming, and when I say history, I mean our personal history of how games used to come out and how they operated, followed by the golden age of gaming, which we'll get into that, and followed by, we'll just get down to brass tacks and just openly talk about how it's just impossible to do it nowadays, to play all the games, all the new releases, all the fun stuff. So, all right, so let's jump into this nitty-gritty here. I'll let you take me? Okay. I'm tired. So as we mentioned in the previous cast before, we're older gamers, or old gamers by the kids' standards these days.
We were there at the beginning, basically.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up with an NES in the house and played Atari at a buddy's house. I don't know what you grew up with.
Same
thing, yeah. So we kind of grew up with that kind of fun stuff, and so back then it was kind of cool because gaming was limited to a couple major studios. A couple developers here and there. Nintendo was the god and king for quite some time.
Yeah.
With their blood contracts and things like that.
And you didn't have to choose super hard. I mean, eventually you had to, but it was okay, here's 5 games. Which one piqued your interest, and then you played and shared with friends, and you could swap with your friends, things like that.
Yeah, that was easy. I remember that. Hey, borrow this. And
yeah.
Your cartridge goes that direction.
Yeah.
No, those were kind of cool times because I remember growing up with Super Mario Duck Hunt combo.
Mm-hmm.
That was fun.
Yeah,
that was a lot of fun. And Excite Bike and the original Legend of Zelda. And those were the core games back then.
Yeah, and you could play those games over and over and over again. Not that you were forced to, but you're okay, I want to play a video game. That's what you had. You play those 5, 6, 7 games you had. So now it's a completely different story.
Oh yeah, so it's completely different, and it's just nuts. There's there's a new game every hour almost. I'd probably say that's extreme, but you get where I'm going with this. But like back then, it was great because like games took a while to show up, so like you could play one, you could beat it, you could play it multiple times, you could discover cool little things, you could speedrun it, you could figure out glitches, you could do other stuff, and then the new game would come out.
Read the magazine, get the lore, things like that.
Yeah, fan fiction.
Then the
theory
new
crafting.
game. And see, the thing about it is like there was obviously more than 5 games, but you know, everyone has their preference. So there were maybe only a handful in your genre. And so, like, of course you didn't have to decide hard. And as games progressed through, you know, development over the years and stuff like that, it became more commonly available. Then you'd have to make choices, but there wasn't, like, 1,000 choices to choose from. If you wanted an RPG...
There's like 5.
Yeah, when you go to the store, you're like, ooh, should I take, like, a Final Fantasy, or should I take, like, a... Champions of Narath, you know, things like that. It's like, okay, well, which RPG do I want to take? But you could always come back and get the other one. It wasn't too difficult.
Yeah, you weren't set in the ways, and that was the nice thing too. Like you mentioned with like the rental stores, like they were great. Like those things saved my ass.
Oh yeah,
because I remember when the SNES came out, like we would go to All the Best Video, which doesn't exist anymore in where I grew up, and we would get freaking. It was like a 5 for 5. You could get 5 games for 5 days for $5 was the rental. Yeah. And it was awesome. And so we would like, okay, let's look at the sports games. Like, okay, we'll get NBA Jam. We'll get like a racing game. We'll get like a platformer. We'll get a shooter. And then like I get like my RPG or my fantasy hack and slash or something like that. Yeah. And it was great, and like never made any progress in any of those things. Oh no! But like it was just that easy to pop it out and play and have fun. And
you know what the funny part, looking back at rentals, is it's kind of like having a demo. You play a small amount of money, or well,
you get the full game though.
Yeah, you get the full game, but in a sense, like you get a demo of the game. If you wanted to purchase it later, you could, or you could play through the full thing. You keep continuing to renting, or just hammer out in one go through if you're crazy. But the 5 for 5 deal was nice because you get to try all these different ones. But it's kind of weird now that I look back at it because like I have hardly any time to get a few hours in any game, let alone 5 games for 5 days. Like I couldn't play 5 games within 5 days in my current state. Like, you know, I have a kid. It's like it totally applied to a different era.
Yeah, we did that during like summer break. Yeah. But even then, like, you know, like we had a pool growing up, so like spent half my time in the pool and half my time on the TV. Yeah. So it's like, okay, I know, I'm spoiled. I had a pool. Whatever.
I had a pool. Just
okay.
Put 2 tarps together and fill it.
Oh, I thought you were gonna use the back of your truck then.
Yeah, that's exactly. Put two tarps in the back of your truck.
Okay.
Yeah. Or 1 big tarp.
Classy.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, so nowadays, forget it, man. Like, you know, even though GameFly exists and things like that, it's just impossible.
Rentals disappeared. So,
well,
and our ideas of demos are gone too. So you can't really try a game. And then there's so many, you have to be based off reviews. Yeah, well, GameFly's there. Yeah. But there's no, like, physical rental store. It's not something like immediate satisfaction.
Oh, yeah. You got to order it. It shows up in a day or two. I don't know. I've never used GameFly. You know, and then you keep it. I know you keep it as long as you want, but at the same time, it's like you got to pay a monthly fee. Yeah. And so, if you're like us, where it takes time to get through games, or you have a life and it takes time to get through games as like your hobby, then all of a sudden you run into the problem of like, okay, I've spent $80 for my monthly subscription, and I've played 1 game and haven't even finished it. Yeah. It's like crap, you know.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty cheap for the most part, but I still don't see it like as a primary. I don't know. It kind of sucks that rentals have disappeared, but it makes sense. I mean, yeah. But it's just the development over the years. It's just you go from small games, rentals, try them, buy them.
And I mean that's kind of the cool thing is like you do go from like all these like small developers that, you know, kind of there was only a couple of them, like 4 or 5, and then it jumps all the way up to like hundreds, if not thousands of them.
Yeah.
So
which is good because you get more variety, you get more, I guess, variety. I mean, and there are a lot more people pushing for innovative ways to make games, but at the same time, there's not. You get a lot more similar crud fillers.
Yeah.
But then you also have more people trying to make innovative. So it's, I don't know. I say like the more games that exist on the market and the more easier it is, the less quality you can come across. It's a give or take.
Yeah, it's definitely a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
I mean, it goes both ways. It could either be really good or it can be kind of shit, which that's actually going to kind of jump into our next part.
So yeah, let's just
jump straight into that. So I mentioned briefly the golden age of gaming.
Golden.
And I honestly feel that we're in that right now.
Yeah.
And when I say golden age of gaming, I don't mean like quality of games, because this is where a lot of people are going, the nerd battle cry, but more along the lines of like games are universally accepted at this point. Like,
oh yeah,
everybody plays a game of some sort, whether it's solitaire or an MMO or what have you. I mean, good lord, like I use the example in here of Candy Crush. Like everybody knows what Candy Crush is. My grandmother knows what Candy Crush is.
Yeah,
I don't think she plays, but I don't know. Actually, I don't know if she plays.
Anyone who has a computer has probably looked up like the original Windows, solitaire, Minesweeper games.
Oh, Minesweeper.
And then moved on to smartphones are everywhere. Everyone has them. Even like 4-year-olds I see.
My mother still doesn't have one, surprisingly.
Really?
Yeah, it's
but
weird.
even those have like Snake and shit on them. So
I think so.
Or like Tetris and things like that. But it's like everyone has a handheld device that has games, and of course they're going to use apps because that's the main feature of smartphones. Mm-hmm. And yeah, then Candy Crush and those very heavy microtransaction style games.
Oh yeah.
And then the more population and the more people accept it, there's a variety of games that fit a lot of different people, like simulation or sports and things like that. You get people who probably wouldn't normally play games back in the day do.
Yeah.
So definitely in the golden age because it's in abundance and everybody accepts it. Like no one looks at you like, oh, you game? It's not like, oh, you game. It's like, what do you play?
Yeah, that's the question. What do you play?
Yeah. Or are you single? It's no.
Isn't that the new question now? Like,
yeah.
What do you play? And then it kind of goes from there.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do the kids say these days?
Yeah, I don't know. Just don't be a girl on the internet. I guess it's.
A what?
Don't be a girl on the internet because that's what you get. Are you single? You don't even get what do you play?
Oh yeah. No, that's a different topic, and I feel bad for those women.
Yeah.
But yeah, this definitely is the golden age. Like, there's so many like surprise games out there. Like, I know I'm gonna list off a couple indie games right now, but like Bastion blew us out of the water. That was years ago.
Yeah.
Stardew Valley blew us out of the water. That was about a year or two ago. Same thing with Darkest Dungeon. You just heard our podcast on Resident Evil 4 a while back, which was also 7. Wow, it's been a long day.
Yeah. You're on your fourth number, so I don't blame you.
Oh my god. Yeah, so you heard our one about 7. I mean, there's so many surprise games out there. Like, I've been researching Hollow Knight. Haven't bought it yet, haven't played it, but fuck, does it look good.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks amazing. Little Metrovania kind of style, very dark setting. The music sounds just phenomenal from the trailers. Like, I got to get around to buying it. I just haven't had time.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at it, it's crazy. Like, all those games you listed are very recent. Mm-hmm. You go back to, like, 2000s where you have, like... or early 90s, early 90s, early
history now.
But you have like medieval, and stuff like the PlayStation 1.
I love medieval.
Yeah, and then you have like the what is the NFL Blitz ones where they're
kind of like NBA Jam, NFL Blitz.
Yeah, but
NHL
there was
Blitz.
like what was the one that was like the Blood Bowl basically, where it was like humans versus orcs. And, I forget the name of it.
God,
also.
I can't remember. I think you're right, Blood Bowl.
Yeah, something like that. But you have like various like sports where it got all. They started to branch out into these crazy. Now you get like very deep topics. Like the genres expanded themselves, and they're starting to make like subgenres. Like you go RPG, but then you have like Dark Souls-esque games, and then you have like 2D Dark Souls-esque games like.
Salt in the Sanctum.
Yeah, Salt and Sanctuary.
I heard that was good.
Yeah. So like it's crazy. It's like as the golden age grows, the more you have, the more variety, but that also expands the amount of games, the amount of style, and it's hard to choose. Like, okay, I like RPGs, but that's very vague these days. Where back in the day, you're like, okay, you like D&D looking style or Japanese RPGs, cool. Now it's like, go on.
Yeah, like what type of RPG? MMO? Do you want tabletop? Do you want JRPG? Do you want American RPG? Do you want real time versus battle system wait time? Do you want, like, then the list goes on and on and on.
Oh, yeah. So
Hack and slash?
we're in the golden age, and that's great because everyone can experience their type of game or different mechanics, innovative ideas, things like that. But that also brings the other edge of the sword.
Oh, yeah, and it's really sad because, now we're going to get down to the rough topic here of it's just too much. There's too many. It's almost overwhelming, and I know I'm crazy, and I know I'm going over the deep end when I talk about this, but it's sadly the truth, and it's impossible. I mean,
it is.
It's impossible to partake in all these great things you hear about, all these great stories, all these great campaigns, multiplayer experiences, etc., etc. Like, it's not possible. And yes, you could argue I'm a little biased because my life is set up a certain way where I have obligations, I have things to do, blah, blah, blah. I don't have a lot of time. Cool, whatever. That's fine. I'm first to admit that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, all the AAA games that I've wanted to play, for the love of God, I just picked up Bloodborne a couple of months ago and haven't had a chance to crack into it yet. My God, how old is that game?
Yeah. Well, I mean, no, I don't think anyone blames you because nowadays it's like, okay, well, both spouses have to work. It's...
Wait, both?
Yeah. Yeah. And it's like either you have a family or you don't, but even if you don't have a family, like children or anything, you still have to have responsibilities outside. So when you do game, unless you like strictly after work, both you and your spouse go home, or even if you're single, it's still hard to fit in a ton of gaming just because, work requirements, social life, things like that. Food.
Sleep.
I just see at my desk. I'm just kidding. I'm OCD. I can't have a mess.
Is that why there's all those cockroaches around your room?
Oh, yeah, totally. Okay. Frank, George, Harry, Clicky.
You're not supposed to... Clicky. You're not supposed to name them.
Yeah.
Makes you harder to kill them.
It's true.
Is Clicky the one with the busted arm?
Yeah.
Okay.
He goes... But it's... you distracted me now. I don't remember.
I'm sorry. Yeah. But that's the thing. Is like I don't know how people do it. Like and I feel bad for streamers as well, which we'll get into a topic on that later on. But like, these people that are able to play these games for, multiple games, extended periods, blah blah. Like it scares me from like a health standpoint, a financial standpoint. Like what are they living in a hovel?
Well, yeah, because like YouTube. There's no defined purpose. Like, you have to be popular for YouTube.
Right.
And to become popular, like, you have to hold a normal job unless you start really young or been there at the beginning of YouTube and started streaming to get fans, So it's like, how financially do you handle it? And it's like month to month. You have to be putting out good videos and spending all your time editing and recording. At the same time, it's like, how could you play a game that much?
Without having serious health issues.
Well, not necessarily. Like, that doesn't concern me. It's like, well, if you don't take care of yourself, you don't take care of yourself.
The medical side of me jumps into that.
Yeah, so. That's like, dude, well, bad on you, No,
because then I got to pick them up.
Yeah, that's true. But I look at it as more like, how can you just play one game over and over again? Like, I've played World of Warcraft. I know what I put into it, but that's one huge ass game that has a lot of content to give that has expanded over the years and a lot of levels. Okay, it's a huge RPG, but like, how do you play CS:GO over and over and over and like
and over and over?
Yeah, and it's like there's so many games out there that tempt you, and how do you play just the one,
or
the two?
I think in that scenario, I mean, definitely self-control, definitely disciplining yourself in one form or another, or you just you dedicate yourself to, like, guess what, I'm gonna be the best guy I can be at Minecraft.
Yeah,
the absolute best.
But there's you're streaming and things like that, and it's like, well, if you change games or you gotta change a heart or you want to do something else, it's like then you gotta worry about your fans and your income.
Right, and so that's the thing, is like you kind of almost pigeonhole yourself into a scenario like that. So it's like, it's just there's too much out there. Like, and even for someone who's a casual gamer or someone who likes multiple genres and styles, how are you supposed to like pick and choose? You're at the mercy of reviewers, you're at the mercy of YouTubers, you're at the mercy of doing popularity or your own research.
Yeah,
but most people don't do their own research. No offense, I'm fall victim to this as well. You don't do your own research to figure it out, and there's that that kind of like, that impulse, like, I got to do it. I got to get now, because if I don't get in on this game now, 2 months down the road, no one's going to fucking play it. I'm going to be by myself. I'm going to be the weirdo that's still playing that game. Like,
Yeah.
And then you got to jump onto the next thing. And I ran into that problem with some of the nerds we hang out with on Discord. Love you guys. But, like, you jump games almost way too much for me. It's insane.
You can't hit it and quit it, man.
It's like, it's like, they're trying to get me to play Grand Theft Auto 5, and it was on sale for like $35, which is pretty decent, but it's like, at the same time, I can't. Like, because we're going to play it for maybe 40 hours at best, and then we're done.
You just got to The Witcher, and you're like...
I'm almost done. I'm 20 hours away.
You're like 140 hours in.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's already been out for, what, 2 years?
I think 3, actually.
3, yeah, 2014. So it's like, geez, you just now started playing this, what, like 6 months ago? 7 months ago?
4 months ago.
4 months ago? So, yeah. So it's like, you're behind. There's... And I don't get how people could play online games so much. Like, I play Battlegrounds, but it only holds my attention for a few rounds. Like, I have to jump to something else.
Right.
But there's so many games tempting. It's like...
What's the same thing with Rocket League? Like, I'll do an hour of Rocket League, and it's like, I gotta take a break. I'm done.
Yeah.
I need something different,
I think one of the issues with too many games is there's MMOs. Or, like, not MMOs. There's online.
Yeah.
Is like the online replayability of like match systems and games like Rocket League and things like that. It kills it because it takes your time redoing the same thing over. You don't get to play a lot of the other games that are out there. And to me, it's like I want to play other games, but at the same time, I'm tempted to play these matchmaking games, like Rocket League over and over again.
Because they're fun.
Yeah, because they're fun. There's nothing wrong with it. It's hard because every time spent, you're missing out on another created game by someone else, and there's tons of beautifully created indie games out there.
And I agree with that, because last night when I was playing Rocket League for an hour and a half, like, I could have spent that time working on The Witcher.
Yeah.
Where
finally finishing and getting to Bloodborne.
I'm working on it. I figured you wouldn't judge me that hardly, but no, I'm working on it. I'm almost there. Like, once I finish the Blood and Wine DLC, I've completed the entire game, and once you finish the main story, I'm turning this table back on you.
I always get to the end and stop for some reason.
You finish it, damn it.
Yeah.
We can talk about it finally, but yeah, that's the truth. Is like it's almost like and this is something I wanted to bring up as well. Is like we as gamers need to actually be responsible for how we spend our time, for how we spend our money, for how we spend our lives in this thing. Not saying stop gaming, dear sweet God, no, that's horrible to say something like that. I mean, just be smart about it.
Yeah.
Like, and have that ability to kind of stand up and say, no, I'm not gonna fall victim to this trap, and I'm gonna play the genres I want to play. I'm gonna play the titles I want to play, and it's okay to miss out on something.
Well, it sucks because when you talk to people like, oh, you don't play Call of Duty, or like you don't play Battlefield. No, I don't.
I did.
But the thing is that's the problem. Is like, okay, there's nothing wrong with falling into the games you like. Like, okay, yeah, I play Battlegrounds. And I played Rocket League. Okay, it's cool, and I'm going to invest my time into those two. So I miss out on Battlefield, Call of Duty, Battlefront, things like that. And it sucks because it would be cool to try them for a little bit, but I decided to invest my time there, and that's my choice, and I'm happy with it. There's nothing wrong with that, but you do miss out on those. And then there are other people like, oh, you don't do that, so you miss out on those interactions. So you're kind of like splitting yourself.
Right, and yeah. I know for me, like when I was a mad, horrible achievement whore, was damn it! I've almost broken the cycle.
Yeah, it's true.
I'm way better than what I was.
I'm not Nadek, I swear.
Yeah, it was. I'm fine. I
can smell the achievements.
No, like it was like a second job, dude. Like I'd get home, and I would research on how to get this achievement through, like how to get almost all or a majority of the achievements through one playthrough.
Yeah,
and it was like, but then it was a race because it's like, okay, I have to finish this game within 3 weeks because then this next one's going to pop out. Then I have a month for that one before this next one pops up. I'm interested, but thank God I have 2 months after that. So then I can work on this other one I forgot about that was 3 months ago that I didn't get a chance to play. And like, I was trying to rationalize out my gaming.
Yeah.
And it's like, holy shit.
There's too many. If you actually paid attention to Steam achievements.
Oh God, there's no way.
Yeah.
What, the Binding Isaac has like how many achievements? A couple hundred?
Yeah. Which is ridiculous. There should be like a cap.
But yeah.
Stupid.
We should have talked about that. Did we talk about the achievements discussion? I can't remember.
I don't remember.
That was like a year ago.
Yeah, that was quite a while ago.
Listen to it. It was really funny.
Yeah. But
product placement
of our own product, yeah.
You have to.
New leg shave gel. Get it from us. Yeah. That achievements are I think a distraction to keep you in your game, which can be good in a sense.
Well, I remember years ago, Rick and I, and you guys heard Rick in one of our previous podcasts, one of my buddies, we talked about that where we both were falling victim to that trap of buying multiple games, playing all the games that were coming out. And he said he felt jealous over the fact that like I tried to complete a game as much as humanly possible because he felt I got more bang for my buck than he did.
Yeah, I could see
but
that.
I felt trapped.
I could see that. I don't understand how people, you said it was like a job.
Yeah.
I don't see how people could play games for a job in a sense because it ruins the game for me. Having to like adjust my gaming for other people instead of just like making streaming content and things like that.
Yeah.
It's so hard because it's like, okay, well I can't focus on the story or the immersion, which I love. I have to focus on creating, voiceovers and things like that. So it's like I have to keep playing until I get good content. And then like achievements, it pushes you to do it like a job, like, oh, I have to grind out this achievement.
I gotta get 3,000 kills. I gotta get 20 headshots. I have to like 360 no scope mid air, while eating 2 bananas and swallowing
bananas,
vitamins. I don't know.
It's like it in a sense, some achievements can be good because they make you like play the game or like, ooh, I didn't know I could do this, kind of thing. But at the same time, some of them are just distracting and keep you from other games. So they're good to keep you in it, but they're also bad to keep you away from other things.
Well, and I get that concept. Like each developer wants a consumer to play as much of that game as humanly possible.
Yeah.
Because you don't want your competition getting more money than what you're getting.
Yeah.
Because why would you do that? That's dumb.
Well, this day and age, you buy it, you keep it.
Right. Well, unless you gameplay it, and then
yeah. So at that point, it doesn't matter how long you play it.
Does it?
No, not really, because you can't. There's no demos or anything these days.
I know, but like and this goes back to the whole like the achievement thing. Like, for me being an ex-achievo whore, it's like, dude, I gotta finish it. Like, I gotta finish it.
That's if you're achievement whore. But now there's so many achievements. Like, it seems like they don't care. And we talked about this in our achievement. So, it's like. Some of them just throw achievements because they can or they think they should.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, like, hey, you finished a tutorial, here's an achievement.
Yeah.
Is that really an achievement?
Yeah. You went to bed. Achievement.
Yeah.
Well, that actually would be achievement for me. I don't sleep well, so.
Yeah, who does?
Yeah. But anyways, that kind of strays a bit.
No, a little bit, but like,
yeah.
So that goes back to the question, like, on like, there's too many out there, so how do we not fix the problem, but how do you approach it? Like, how do you not rectify it, but how do you cope?
I think it's hard because there's no good system. We were talking about Steam systems and adjustment within Steam in our last demos, but like,
oh yeah,
there's no good way. You just have to find your genres and kind of just stick to them. There's nothing wrong with branching out and trying them, but like, I don't like sports games. I mean, I could play sports in real life if I wanted to or watch it on TV. I don't find them interesting. I'm going to cut that out of my gaming diet, so to say. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to stick to RPGs and first-person shooters or third-person shooters. And then within that genre, I can pick and choose, some of my stuff. Like, I don't really care for JRPGs or turn-based. Okay, I'm going to cut those out. I mean, I like Dark Souls style.
Get out.
I don't. But that's okay. So, I'm going to go for the dark horror style RPGs. Mm-hmm. So it's like to deal with the games, you kind of have to choose your genres, but you have to keep it open-minded. Because, like, there's a ton of indie games. Like, I wouldn't have played Stardew Valley without your push.
Me ranting about it? Yeah.
Like, Darkest Dungeon I definitely would have came across as, like,
I pushed you on that one, too.
Yeah, you did. I didn't know about it, which sucks, but... I do like the darkness. I think I would have came across it eventually, but and that's turn-based, so you got to keep an open mind. But I think you just have to stick to your genre, but still keep an open mind and look for quality. And that's something I want to talk about later. But how do you handle or cope?
For me anymore, like it's been a serious exercise in self-control.
Yeah.
Like it's been the concept of like, okay, like, all right, like look at this, man. Like there's no way you're gonna be able to play these games in this amount of time. It just ain't gonna happen. Not without you staying up till 3 a.m. every night, struggling through work and repeating the process.
Sounds fun.
Not my work.
Yeah, that's true.
But like, there's just no way. So it's been a serious exercise in self-control. It's like, okay, like, all right, man. Okay, like, case in point, Hollow Knight. I'm looking at it right now. I've done my research. I've watched multiple YouTube videos and reviews. I've read reviews from other things. I've looked at the game. Price point's definitely there. $15 is pretty damn fair.
Yeah.
It's everybody says to like fully complete it, it's roughly like a 20 to 30 hour playthrough, which is pretty impressive.
Yeah.
That caught my attention right
For
there.
$15, yeah.
For 15, yeah, it's not bad at all. And it's like, okay, like, and it's on Steam and controller friendly. It's like, okay, so those are some pretty good selling points right there. Do I have it in my Steam library? No. Will I get it eventually? Probably. But I have to kind of look at it like right now. It's like, okay, if I get it, is it going to sit in my queue? Am I going to touch it? Am I going to play it? Yes, I want to. Okay, but if I play it, it's going to take away from other things I'm working on right now. Because, goddamn it, I'm going to finish The Witcher because it's that good.
Yeah.
You know, when I get the opportunity, I swear to God, I'm going to finish it because it's just a wonderful game. But, you know, like after The Witcher, I want to work on Bloodborne. After Bloodborne, I'll probably have another one I want to work on.
That's probably the good thing about wishlist, though, when it comes to at least PC games, is don't buy a game. You don't
put it on the list.
Yeah, you don't have to necessarily buy it right away. Like as soon as it comes in, you don't have to buy it unless you plan on playing it. Like don't buy it. Let it sit on the wish list. Organize accordingly how you want to. You know, prioritize and then buy it when you're done.
Or run into my problem of your birthday comes up and your buddy decides to empty out your wish list, and I end up with like 10 new games, and it's like, you know who you are, Rick.
Yeah. See, in a sense, that's good and bad because it ruins your prioritization, but it's good because you don't have to pay for them.
Yeah, no, it was great.
So,
I mean,
like,
I appreciate the gift, but yeah.
But that also comes down to like we don't have the UI or the functionality to prioritize games, and it's getting to that point where it's not a project, but you almost have to project manage your gaming.
Oh yeah.
Just because there are so many, but you don't have the user interface to dedicate to that, and you have to kind of remember games that looked interesting, but you might not necessarily remember to play like later on. That might get taken up by some new game that's popular coming out, and it's like every 3 months there's an awesome fucking game that's coming out.
Pretty much, if not sooner.
Yeah, and so like I wish we had the UI, but the wish list is helpful.
I like the wish list because I prioritize games that like I know I would play. So like my Steam wish list right now has like 2 Telltale games in the top rungs, followed by I don't know something else, and then Hollow Knight. You know, it doesn't matter the order, but like the cool thing is like I know with like the Telltale games, like if I were to get those, I'd play them right away because they have a finite end.
Yes.
And it's a quick experience. It's not like so the Telltale games like usually on average it's about like 6 to 8 hours to finish out one of those games with all the episodes. Cool. That's manageable. I could do an episode a night. They come out incrementally, so I can actually take my time with it. You know, and it's fun, and like since the decisions go different ways, so it's gaming I can handle.
Yeah.
It's not like diving into a full blown like. And RPG is the best example because they're long games intentionally, which are great. Yeah. But like it's not jumping into like a new Final Fantasy game where I'm gonna invest like, 100 hours.
That's where some indie games are nice when it comes to like indie RPGs or things like that, where they're shorter term or like story based. It's just because it's like beginning end, it's short. I can jump game to game, whereas like an online game it just never ends.
Right.
You just have to get bored of it,
or get yourself stuck in a scenario where your group of nerds for raiding don't like you, or you do something to help one of them and it backfires horribly and you have to leave.
Yeah.
Well, Personal experience.
Yeah, that's a very specific example. Probably happened a lot, but it's hard for me to play like MMOs anymore just because I have to jump games.
Right.
Otherwise,
I'm done with MMOs. Like I'm seriously done this time. Yeah. Done.
Like I'll do co-op RPGs, but MMOs, yeah, it has to be pretty innovative for me to even touch it.
That's right. We're looking into Swords of Ditto when that comes out.
Swords of Ditto?
Yeah, remember that's that like Adventure Time kind of looking like.
Oh yeah,
online.
yeah,
Yeah. Okay, there you go.
Okay. So yeah, so that's. I forgot about that one.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you. Dauntless looks cool because it's like a Monster Hunter.
I haven't seen that.
Yeah, it's a indie.
Okay.
But it's it's PC online. Anyways, that aside, but there's too many games.
Yeah, well, and I was about ready to jump in with Rick and I were huge fans of Advance Wars, and I just heard about a game called Wargroove that's coming out on the Switch and PC, and it's like Advance Wars but fantasy set, and so we're both like kind of about it, and it's like, oh crap, like I'm falling victim to.
And that actually brings up the other thing: consoles.
Oh god, there's
3
too many of
different
them.
consoles, yeah, with all different exclusive. Like Nintendo, fuck you, because you have your own whole set. I have to buy a goddamn Switch to play any of your fucking games.
Well, peripherals as well too.
Yeah, and then PS4, Bloodborne, the Dark Souls series, anything like that, and Microsoft with Gears of War. It's like, fuck, now I have to buy all 6 goddamn consoles to play all your 20,000 fucking games. I don't worry about PC or indie games. So it's like, you're going to have to sacrifice. You have to be real. You have to be practical. I'm going to go to this game, then this game. You can do it by popular choice or whatever. It doesn't matter what other people think. You find games you like and just be real about it. I cannot complete this in X amount of hours, or you just have to be real with yourself. It's like, does my time allow this game? All right, finish, complete, next game.
And I remember that too with the big console decision, because it's like, growing up you had Nintendo for our age group because that's all that was available was Nintendo. And then PlayStation came out, and I remember jumping the ship from N64 to PS1. And that was a big decision. And I did it, and there were a lot of games back then. And then there's this weird time after the PS2 where Sony kind of lost like all their blood contracts with everybody, and everybody started jumping ship to different directions, and Microsoft came out with the Xbox 360.
Just normal Xbox.
Well, the normal Xbox didn't pique my attention because it was still fresh and new. It was fun to play, but I didn't own one.
Yeah.
And then I jumped over to the 360, and I was a 360 player through and through for a long time. Fuck you, Microsoft, because of your achievement system. I blame you for that problem. And then I remember...
But they did it right then, just saying.
Well, I remember when like the PS4 was coming out, and when the Xbox One was coming out, and it's like, okay... Like, I need a break. And so I took a break, and I went back to PC.
Yeah.
And then, like I had a Wii because my ex-girlfriend at the time like gave me a Wii, and it's like, okay, the Wii's fun, Nintendo's doing something innovative, different, etc. And like I had this like big long moment of like a month or two where I sat there and weighed the pros and cons about going back to consoles and which console to pick, and I ended up going PS4 because I think I just got sick and tired of the bullshit I experienced on Xbox Live.
Oh, yeah.
Because like there were a lot of people I knew that were on Xbox Live that I didn't want to affiliate with anymore, didn't want to play games with them anymore, and it was so easy to pop them up, and I knew not a lot of people were on PlayStation, so I just jumped on PSN.
It's a clean slate, yeah.
Yeah, so it was great, so I kind of started over, and it was wonderful, but I'm going to run into the same problem again. I'm going to have to make that decision. It's like, okay, do I pick the PlayStation 8, or do I go for the Nintendo... scallop peeler, switchblade, banana filer thing.
Mario.
Mario. There you go.
Yeah.
Super Mario Edition. I don't know. Fuck.
Yeah.
Nintendo comes up with weird names.
But PC.
That's the thing. It's like, do I become again part of the glorious master PC race?
The thing is like with PCs, like you have cheap games, a variety. You could buy just a laptop. Yeah, it costs more. But for the longevity...
We're recording on an expensive laptop.
Yeah, the longevity compared to a console. At this point, fuck exclusive. I'll watch reviews through, like, at work or on my lunch breaks, things like that, of, like, Bloodborne. That's what I did. Bits and pieces, because YouTubers are nice. And we kind of ragged on them a bit for early access and stuff
Yeah.
game. But the thing is that they're also good because they can play the games you can't, or... don't have time to.
And that's a topic I want to do one of these days too, is the what is it, watch us play or let's play,
and things like that,
stuff like that. It's great. I'm watching a let's play series on IGN called Prepare to Try, which is just absolutely hilarious. And it's Bloodborne, but I'm still going to play Bloodborne.
Yeah.
But like I haven't done a let's play of a game I'm not going to play or haven't played yet. And
I have.
I haven't done it. I don't know. I don't know if I could bring myself to do it.
See, the thing is like I was very real with myself. I'm not gonna buy a PlayStation.
Mm-hmm.
I love the Dark Souls series, and
You're just waiting for me to finish so we can start playing Bloodborne together.
well, yeah, that too. But I knew I wasn't gonna play Bloodborne or have any options to anytime soon. But I wanted to know because it really piqued my interest. But I was real with myself, like, okay, some of my off times they're broken off into like 20-minute sections or 30 minutes or whatever. Epic Name Bro was doing at the time, and I watched him play through it. And it was great because I learned the story. I got to feel for it. I got to, and then I got to move on. I still got to play my games. I didn't have to. So not to rag on them, it's great having Let's Plays. And when those people say, like, how do you watch other people play games? Because you're a gamer or you love games.
Because there's no time to play those games.
And there's not enough time. So you, throughout your day, you try watching all the new TV shows, all like the new anime, reading books, cooking dinner, having a family, hanging out with your friends, doing outdoor activities, gaming.
Wait, outdoor?
Yeah, I know. And doing all that in one day or 1 week. Good luck, So it's like, okay, you have to sacrifice. I'm going to watch some Let's Plays. Fuck it. It's entertainment. It's better than TV, in my opinion,
At times, yes.
And it's like, I'd rather not watch these sitcoms that are heavily scripted. I'd rather watch just video games. They're beautiful and immersive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so, no, I get you on that.
So it's and plus, if you're interested, don't hesitate to look it up or look into it or watch Let's Plays. If you know you can't play it, just gotta be real with yourself. So
yeah, it's okay to feel that way. It's okay not to fall victim to that trap.
Yeah, popularity is so bad these days in the gaming market, and you keep saying like, oh, the gaming market's worth X amount of billions and the mobile market's X amount of bajillions too, and it's like, stop putting the number. You're basically saying like, hey, come put your business here and market heavily and push people to do like fads and things like that. It's like Call of Duty was huge.
Well, and that's my fear in some of this is gaming becoming a fad.
Yeah.
And that's a different question for a different cast. But
that's going to be virtual reality. So once that picks up.
Yeah, I thought Nintendo already hit that market with a 3D aspect. No. That was a fad.
Well, it kind of, yeah. It was a really failed attempt.
It was impressive what they were able to do.
Yeah.
We're digressing.
But, I mean, it comes down to it. Well, I mean, it ties in, though. Too many games become, they just... Yeah. There's going to be so many in abundance. It's going to be like, oh, what's the cool thing? The fad. Mm-hmm. And VR will be one of those eventually because it will be the primary source, most likely.
Yeah, I mean, some VR is pretty impressive right now, but I hope it hangs around.
It will. You cannot. I mean, sci-fi exists, so.
Yeah, fair enough.
But, I mean, it's such a weird topic to talk about, and if you bring it up to someone, they're going to be taken aback. Like, what do you mean too many games?
Oh, yeah. No, I fully expected to be, like, hunted down and have us both put on, like, pyres and somebody with torches light the fire screaming witch burn the witches.
Monty Python, too.
Well, I'll consider it an honor.
Just measure me to a piece of wood or a duck.
Again, I'll consider it an honor because I want cremation anyway. But,
yeah. The thing is if what we need to do as a gaming community is hold people to higher quality. Instead of just releasing games so quickly and every year, I know we've said this in multiple podcasts,
but it's the truth.
Hold them to higher quality because it takes more time and it's worth investing in. That's the thing. It's like if a game's not worth investing in, don't do it because you're wasting our money, which is hard earned through hours, and then you're wasting our time.
Yeah.
And your time is the most precious thing. You spend 3 hours doing this shitty ass game that you invested in, and you're only playing because you bought it because there's no demo system.
Or because all your friends are playing it.
Or because your friends and then it's like, okay, well, that's wasted where you could be playing other games. So you have to hold people to quality. And I think that's what we really need to. And that's a huge topic that we didn't I forgot to write down.
One of these days we'll get to that one. I've been thinking about that too. So. But let's jump into the question, I guess, to ask everybody. Do you think we're right? Do you think we're wrong? Do you think we're crazy? Do you want to find us, hunt us down? And,
we're right.
Again, light us on fire. I think we're right.
We're starting a cult. We're right.
Oh, God. My mom always said I would be a cult leader.
Our followers.
Oh, Mom, you were right.
Subscribers. Join us.
One of us.
Flickering Torch.
Okay, we've gone a little off topic. But actually, some feedback would be cool on this one. We actually will talk about it. Like, I'm willing to readdress this concept again with enough evidence on someone else's part. My friends who listen, if you guys want in on this too, we'll do a guest speaker kind of thing.
I'd be glad to be proven wrong or
they can
opposite
try.
ideas. Yeah, they can try.
You can try to prove something infallible,
and that's fine. And we're never 100% correct, but
yeah,
it would be good to hear the other side of people thinking why, because right now we're not young and we're not old, so we don't have that free time.
Yeah.
So we kind of suffer with biased opinion, I guess.
A little bit.
So let us know, feedback, things like that.
Yep.
Anything else for you?
I think we've covered a fair amount, given the fact that we're both exhausted.
Yeah, it's true. So thanks, guys. This is the Flickering Torch podcast, and we'll see you on the next one. This is Smite This.
Yeah, Mr. Death Scott.
And have a good night.
Bye-bye.
Or day or morning.
Oh, good lord. Morty. Watch Rick and Morty.